One of the most important places on any racetrack is going to be corner entry. And one of the biggest keys to being good through the corners is finding the right speed. Now, if we go too fast here on corner entry, either the car is going to spin out to scrub speed or it's going to hit the wall or go off the track, okay? All of those things are going to cost you time. Now, the other side of the coin is if you go too slow, the car's lazy, it doesn't work very well, and you're just flat out giving away time. Now, where the ability to slow down really starts is going to be setting up your car right. That's going to be tires, first and foremost. That's always the most important part of your setup. And then for me personally, I really try to find a balance between number one, rear grip, because I want a car that's going to be nice and planted, especially on corner exit, but also on corner entry. I don't want it to spin out and for me to not have the ability to catch it because the car's too loose. That's got to balance with the car's ability to steer. But the reason that I focus on rear grip is because that I know that I can make that car turn. Once the car's set up right, you can use 3 simple techniques to get it slowed down for different corners on the track. Number one, and probably the most important, is going to be at the end of a long straight into a tight corner, you're going to want to brake nice and straight because traction lives in straight lines. To break it down just a little bit more, once you turn that thing, you're putting different amounts of weight and traction, typically more on the outside front tire, so the car's not going to slow down very well. It's going to be more conducive to the car turning. So you want to brake nice and straight when you want to slow down. Now, the second way to get a little bit of speed taken off and make a higher speed corner like the one I'm standing in here is just to lighten your throttle a little bit and turn that wheel and use understeer to get the car to the right speed and turn the amount you want. The third technique, especially if you got a tight 180 like the one behind me here, is you're gonna lift off as you turn in there, transfer weight, maybe even add a little bit of brake to help that car rotate and get that traction to rotate to get through there efficiently. So third, and the opposite of understeer, is gonna be that oversteer to get the rotation to get through these tight corners quickly. Now that you've got all 3 of these techniques, straight line braking, understeer, or using oversteer to get the car to slow down, now you can look around the track and figure out which corners you're going to do each of those 3 things and kind of make a mental note of it when you go in and practice and figure out how you want to drive that track. Now, last thing I want to share with you guys is one of the biggest setup tips I have for you and the biggest secrets maybe in anything I'll ever share on this channel, and that's getting your brakes right. I think a lot of people don't necessarily get those brakes set up right, especially with 4-wheel drive cars, especially with electric cars, because you don't have the brake bias like the nitro guys have. But if you get your brakes right, it's going to act like ABS, and it's almost going to feel like you're cheating because the car is going to work so much better. If you have too much brake especially, the car is going to lock up, it's going to slide forward, and it's almost going to feel like it's going to want to slide away from your corner entry if you're really under heavy braking, okay? So if we go into our endpoint adjustments on our radio, dial that back to a percentage that's really going to control the braking. Again, it's going to feel like ABS. It's going to get that car to slow down more effectively, but it's also going to make the car turn really well, okay? Because you're going to maintain traction, it's going to really aggressively put traction on those front tires, and it's going to make the car turn. So you might be able to use less steering input and get that car to rotate the way you want, depending on the severity of the corner, and get through there more efficiently. You can always take away too much brake. The car's not going to slow down enough. That's for you to adjust in practice, figure it out, and give yourself that big advantage of having the car slow down really, really well with the right brake setting. All right, guys, get those brakes right. You'll be faster before you know it. Especially just understanding the concepts is a big step in the right direction. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.